Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling, uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
Forget all you know about podcasts. We welcome you to an experience uniquely different. Please join us for our coverage of all entertainment on the fringe of society. The candles are lit, the lights are down low, and it's now time to welcome our host as he steps up to the pulpit. The sacrifice has been prepared for the midnight black mass.
Ghastly greetings, groovy ghoulies, and welcome to another edition of the Midnight Black Mass. I am your host, the devil you know, the maniacal mister of the occult, the Reverend, and back to again these days, the Dragon, Dan Wilson. How the hell are you? And welcome to the show. We've been off for the last couple of weeks here, just getting moved into my brand new home. I am officially an American homeowner, which I think that means people actually listen to my opinion about things now because I own land. Isn't that, or was that only in the 1700s? Anyway, glad to be back on another show here. We've got the two greatest co-hosts a guy could ask for, two of my dearest friends, and two really funny motherfuckers. But we're here to talk about wrestling and a little bit more, just, you know, the world that we bring you. It's just the Midnight Black Mass universe. It encompasses things more than wrestling. But first, the Mouse of Hell, the man who rocks a sweater better than Mr. Rogers, with at least 2.5 times the cool, and is the former one-man hair band, the Southeastern Strangler, and matchmaker, a booker of the year at one point, Andrew Alexander. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. All these nicknames, they're getting to me. I need to get one and stick with it.
You do. Or just, you know, come up with a new one and then we'll just go with that. What does retired Andrew Alexander call himself?
A retired piece of shit.
The angry asshole Andrew Alexander?
Yep, that sounds good to me. I'm not that angry these days, though.
Well, that's good.
I'm like
what's prompted your sunnier disposition?
Yeah. Hey, when you're in the wrestling business, you don't have a lot of negativity going on. I've learned that.
Well, I also want to take time to introduce our second co-host, the man who just over last Saturday night won the first ever Scenic City Rumble, now earning himself a spot in the Scenic City Invitational Tournament in August and picking his opponent in the first round. And if you haven't heard who that is, he's going to tell you. The Strong Style Psycho Tank. What's up, man?
What's going on, mofos? Hey, follow me on Twitter so I don't have to buy any more goddamn Twitter followers.
Yeah. That is tank_EST 1996, right?
Yeah, that's it.
It's Tanks on Twitter. But tell us about the Scenic City Rumble. You had a huge couple of Saturdays.
Yeah, man, it was a good time. Very hard rumble. 30 guys. Went from 25 to 30. I came in number 23, and I kind of defied the odds and eliminated the hierarchy of Murder One, Adrian Armour, and Chip Day to win the Rumble. So I had my pick of who I wanted in the first round, and I chose Matthew Riddle, ex-UFC fighter, probably the hottest thing on the indies right now. So I figured, I'm going to try to win this sumbitch. It's been my last weekend of wrestling and all, so hope everything works out. If not, it was a hell of a run.
And if you win it, you'll have beaten the best. So, hell of a way to go out either way, really. I think that's a huge announcement. A lot of people were happy to hear that, as you saw the massive crowd in attendance at my alma mater, Saudi Daisy High School. They're in full force supporting Tank and on their feet when he won the Scenic City Rumble match. So that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed calling it with Brad Stutz from CWF Mid-Atlantic. And so just a great showcase of like all of the different top talent from around the region and beyond coming in. I mean, we had some guys coming all the way from Chicago, from freelance wrestling, and from the Carolinas, etc. There was a lot of talent on display at that Scenic City Rumble. And then, just this past Saturday, it was announced that you would be the dream partner for the No Pain Train Iceberg at the 19th annual Hardcore Hell Event, where you would team with Berg in a Four Corners of Pain match against Strychnine and his mystery partner, revealed to be Danny Only, reuniting the Hate Junkies. Four Corners of Pain only 2 times in the past that match has been done. What is it? It's you've heard of an object on a pole match. Well, this is where they take a pole and put it on each corner, and they hang an object of destruction from it, and it could be any number of sick and twisted goodies. So, and Tank, the only man who has ever competed in both of them.
Exactly. Yeah, I was in the first one. Me and White Trash. We wrestled Blackout, won the Wild Side tag titles, and then the second one was, my memory's kind of foggy right now. I believe it was me and Iceberg and Azrael and Rain Man, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that's correct. It was at Fright Night also, I think maybe 03, 04, something like that.
And, yeah, man, it's a crazy match because you really don't know what you're going to get. There could be, rolls of barbed wire or a roll of toilet paper in the damn box. You don't know. Sometimes they try to trick you and put something in there that won't do any bodily harm. But then there's always something in there that'll fuck you up. So hopefully I can get my hands on the stuff that'll fuck somebody up.
Yeah, absolutely. And really a dream match for fans of the Landmark Arena, because you really have 2 of the top teams of their respective eras. The Tank and Berg were pretty much gone by the time the Hate Junkies rose and had their run, feuding with the likes of New Wave and Talent and Money and all the hot tag teams we had going on at that time. So really interesting, really a first-time matchup for fans to get to see something like this going on top of a loaded card headlined by Jacob Ashworth, finally getting his big shot at Gunnar Miller, just revealed. The special enforcer, ticking time bomb Scotty Rand, legendary Wild Side competitor, the first man to walk through the curtain when the building opened in 1998, former Wild Side heavyweight champion, coming back to be the special guest enforcer to keep Jeff G. Bailey at bay.
Yeah, that'll be interesting there. I mean, it'll be good to see Scotty. I haven't seen him in a long time. You kind of got some Wild Side guys popping up. I was an original, but I consider myself a major part of NWA Wild Side from 2001 to whenever it turned to Anarchy. Like I said, I don't remember dates real well. Yeah, man, Scotty, and then, as you know, me and him, we were tag champions for a while. Had the shittiest matches against each other, but I thought we were pretty fucking good as a tag team. So I'll be glad to see him and catch up and bullshit with him a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Other things on the card we'll run down real quick and get out of here because, I know that I could probably spend the whole show just talking about Hardcore Hell. A lot of great memories tied to that event, the 19th annual event. Hard pressed to find any independent company that's had a supercard like that run for 19 years, and I dare say it's the longest running one in independent wrestling history. In particular, if you rule out tournaments, like if you rule out the Super 8 and things like that are just tournaments, like a Starrcade WrestleMania type event built on stories and issues with people who don't like each other and want to fight about it. For independent wrestling, I can't think of another one that's ran that long. So I'm going to go ahead and say it's the longest running supercard of its kind.
Most definitely. I'm looking forward to it. I was glad to get the invite and ready to come down there. I mean, it's kind of like I'm coming home, except it's not going to be pretty for the hate junkies. So we'll see.
And I am sitting right on the fence there. I'm not getting involved in that. I've got a big connection to both of those teams. I've managed both of them, but I'm not a manager there anymore. I have retired from that role to focus on announcing and matchmaking. And so I'm not going to worry about, you guys do what you do. I'm not sticking my nose in it.
Well, that's fine. I'd just stay in the back and enjoy the ass whipping. And I know Strychnine, he's tough as nails. I had a little run with him at Empire. We did a death match, and he got my fat ass up for an F5 one night. So I'm really leery about him, but Danny Only, he's brittle. One good stomp to the face, I'll probably break his fucking toe or something.
Well, I tell you what, I'm not staying neutral at all, because I'm a former Devil's Reject, and people may not remember, but the team that took me out of Anarchy was the Hate Junkies. So I may just do the only thing stopping me from doing a run in and helping Tank and Iceberg are two things. Number one, they don't need my help, and number two, nobody in the crowd would fucking remember who I was, so it won't really matter. So I think I'll just stay at home. But if I was there, I would be hiding in one of those boxes and pop up, and I'd kick Danny Only in the balls.
That'd be awesome.
I love it. So
Bird in that one.
Fair enough. Well, as the matchmaker, I got to kind of try to play it impartial here. So, I'm just excited for it. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be a fight, and it's going to be a first-time matchup. So, yeah, I'm just really, really stoked for that. Also on the card, got a 6-man tag fans participation strap match. The group known as Team Tag. Kevin Blue, Chris Spectra, and Wild Billy Buck. These guys have formed quite an alliance. They've done a lot of damage as a unit. Individually, they're all capable. Blue and Buck in particular. Spectra has been more of a toady. But as a unit, they've been damn near unstoppable. And so in the process of this, they've pissed a lot of people off, you see. And I understand when you're trying to make a name for yourself. Sometimes you're going to piss people off, and sometimes that's okay, because fuck them. But these guys, they just seem to be pissing off the wrong people. Like, why do you want to pick a fight with Odinson? Why do you want to pick a fight with Seven? These are the guys they're getting under the skin of, and maybe that's not a good idea. So Billy Buck's been taking off his belt. Like he's either got some sort of whipping fetish, or maybe it's a daddy thing. Like, I don't know, but he feels like he's got to take people to the woodshed after he beats them and pull off his belt and whip their ass with it. And he's been doing that repeatedly for months. And did to former Slim J Gladiator Jeremiah, and tried to take him out and successfully did. He injured him in the process, and so many people thought it was going to be those two locking horns at Hardcore Hell, because that certainly seemed to be where the path was headed. But with Jeremiah out of the picture, Team Tag just got a little too froggy with that belt and pissed off the wrong guys, and So now they found themselves in a fan participation strap match against Brad Cash, Seven, and Odinson. So that's going to be an interesting situation there. Always crazy when you have the wild cards with the fans out there at ringside, because you just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I've never participated in a fan strap match. I actually had to go out one night because we were at Wildside of the old building on Friday night show. The Skeeter Frost and Matt Sells, and when they would get thrown out, the fans wouldn't hit them. So I was sent out by somebody to show them how it's done, and just whipped the shit out of both of them. And then the floodgates were open, and those fans just beat the dog shit out of both of them. I was like, yeah, this is how you're supposed to do it. I felt sorry for them. I was like, damn, I took it easy on them son bitches, and these fans just beat the dog shit out of them. They came in the back, and they were like, God damn. I was like, sorry, guys. I didn't think they'd do all that.
So yeah, we've got the fan participation strap match. We've got Crystal Rose, the most unlikely of women's champions. This girl has been competing in that building since 2001. A lot of people don't realize that she was the head cheerleader Destiny in Wildside as Crew Jones' valet. And, she just couldn't ever get the big win. She was almost becoming the Barry Horowitz of the women's division, is that she would just, she'd go out there and show a little fight, but to always get that ass whipped right at the end. And so just by happenstance, Dementia Rose has to put her belt on the line in a tag match because of booking commitments. She's going to be gone for like 60 days after that match. So if she didn't put the belt on the line, then she wasn't going to meet the limit. So we put the belt on the line in that match. Crystal Rose lucks up and scores the pinfall with the help of her partner, Rock and Roll Roxy. And so she's won the belt, and now she's got the big head. So she's even though somebody else helped her win it, now she's the champion and she thinks she's a superstar. So she attacked Rock and Roll Roxy in the locker room, and then they did a match, and before they even got to the lockup, Crystal took the count out. So they're wrestling again in Hardcore Hell, and I have no idea what Crystal's going to pull off here, but been pretty insane to see her go batshit crazy since from the humble babyface jobber basically to fucking winning the belt, and then all of a sudden thinking that she's the best thing since sliced bread. Happens a little bit in this business, huh?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Hell, you ought to have the strap match to keep her ass in the ring. I think that'd be pretty entertaining.
Andrew?
It's been my experience that these women would probably enjoy getting strapped like that.
Strapped and gagged and just strapped. and man, that woman, she must not have been able to find her footing since coming back to while we wrestle in the women's division, because I know for a fact she's a serious competitor. She has she's racked up some big victories over the years, including in circa 2002 beating a young Andrew Alexander in one-on-one competition. She got a pinfall victory over me.
Well, if you can beat Andrew Alexander, you too could be the women's champion one day.
You goddamn right. I might come out of retirement and challenge for that women's championship.
You might as well.
Hey,
that'd be awesome.
Hey, since we're talking about intergender competition, man, did I ever? I'm sure I shared with y'all I had a new character idea that I never got to debut. You want to hear about it real quick? It's awesome.
Sure.
Yeah. It's I can't remember if I ever talked about it on the show. I don't think I have, but I had an idea for a guy that would wrestle women, a la Andy Kaufman. He would only wrestle women, and it would be like, what is the one force that can destroy the female body? And that's when the debut superstar, his name would be Baby. And it'd be like a grown-ass dude who was bald, no hair on his body, wrestling in a diaper, because nothing can fuck up a woman like a baby. And well, and think about this: the curtain would be changed to a flesh-colored curtain, and he would come out of that motherfucker head first.
Promoters, do you see what a fertile mind is going to waste here? You need to book this man and pay this man and get him out of retirement.
And how he would win while we wrestle women's championship, there would be a run-in by his valet. And she's who you really don't want to fuck with because that's baby mama.
God damn.
It's a genius idea. You can have that if you want to.
Well, folks, I don't think we can top that, so keep one foot in the gutter and one fist in the Baby with baby mama. Is that anything like Big Mama and Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Valiant?
I hope she looks exactly like Big Mama.
Oh, fuck. I can't make it through a show without you busting me, period. Especially when you come up with shit like that.
I mean, do you not have some bald guy down there, like a bald, short, stubby guy?
I can procure one, I'm sure.
Yeah, think like a midget iceberg.
Son of a
God damn,
bitch.
we could use C.C. Devlin.
Yeah.
Is he fat enough to be a baby, though?
Somebody along those lines. And you have vignettes, and it's like babies crying in the background, and something bad is coming. And then the debut head first, and you throw a bunch of slime out of the curtain right before he comes out, and it's baby.
Good God.
No, it's not Vince Russo, folks. It's Andrew Alexander. Believe it or not.
Hey, that is better than any Russo idea ever.
I mean, it is, but it also sounds like something that, he might have had a hand in.
Well.
Or maybe it gave birth to a hand.
Oh, damn.
I don't know where those sound effects are coming from, but I love them.
Baby with baby mama. What the fuck?
Well, I don't even know how we started.
Yeah, we got totally off the rails there. I was just trying to wrap up the Hardcore Hell card, so I'll also just add that the Lynch Mob will be defending their tag team titles in a 3 stages of Hardcore Hell match, which is a 2 out of 3 falls match, with each fall having a different stipulation. One will be tornado tag, one will be submission, and one will be last man standing. And so the winners of that will be, without any question, the tag team champions. Lynch Mobs won the title from the Monarchy just a couple weeks ago after winning the Kings of the Hill Battle Royal. Monarchy tried to get the jump on them and humiliate them and steal their shot, and Lynch Mob pulled it out and won the belts. And so now Lynch Mob has cashed in the rematch, and they have come up with this as a way to try to get the belts back. But I think if Lynch Mob win there, I don't think Monarchy can really ask for a rematch. You got beat 2 falls in stipulations. I think that pretty much puts you out of the contention. So going to be a hell of a match, so looking forward to that as well. Also, the approved Bobby Moore and Adrian Hawkins have an open challenge out to stars past and present. They're undefeated in the tag team division. They thought they should get the title shot. They did not, so they are putting up $1,000 of their own money against any tag team who can unseat them.
Well, I smell a rat there because I know one Bobby Moore. That motherfucker don't have $1,000 to his name, so I would be with it.
Well, he did say that he and Adrian Hawkins were splitting it, so it was $500 apiece.
Nah, it's probably about 700 and 300, but you know, good luck to whatever team wants to go for that.
And then we also, you know,
there.
oh yeah, and then just kind of just as a throwback, really, is something that that Rick Michaels hooked up. We got the NWA North American champion Tyson Dean coming in to defend the title. Just one of those rare matches at the big show where you bring in some sort of outside showcase, kind of a throwback to some of the things Bill would do back in the Wild Side days. So I like that idea, and we went with that. And so just a really solid card, top to bottom. We got VIP seats for sale for $25. Get you right there on the ramp. Get you a ticket to NCW on Friday night. Get you into the VIP, the fan interaction at intermission. It gets you a drawing into the raffle for the strap match and a poster signed by the entire roster. There's a limited number of those available. Otherwise, general admission seats are $12. Kids are $10. And Saturday night, March 25th, you definitely want to be in Cornelia because we've got a whole lot of surprises for you. And, of course, the biggest thing coming out of the last event I even mentioned, it's no longer Why We Wrestle. I was the one who made the announcement to the audience about the name change, and this simply came from them, really. You know, we listen to the fans, and they're the boss in many cases. You know, they pay our salaries, and their tickets fund the operation. So a lot of them just didn't like the Why We Wrestle name. Same opinion I had about it. Kind of clever, kind of outside the box, not a terrible idea. But what you're doing here is you're presenting a situation where you have to explain the name of your promotion every time you say it because somebody's going to say, what the hell does that mean? And so the fans spoke and we listened, and the last Why We Wrestle event under that banner will be Hardcore Hell, and that will also be the first event under the rechristened Anarchy Wrestling banner. So Anarchy is coming back. That's the brand that the fans there know and love and wanted. And so wrestling ain't changing. You know, I'm still the matchmaker, so I'm making the same matches. Ain't nothing changing about that. But, you know, it is going to go back to Anarchy, and I like that because we get to tap into all that great history.
And then, coming soon, we're going to have a Sunday afternoon show in Cornelia called Malarkey Wrestling. And that's where you're going to see your favorites like Baby. You're going to see Baby. You're going to see Scatman Tank.
Yeah.
Scatman Tank is. I've always wanted to see Scatman Tank. Before you hang him up, I think you should do that one time, maybe at a random shit show, where you come out and scat in your own entrance theme.
I'll do that shit. I've always wanted to do it, but hell, nobody wants to book me to do it. I want to come out with my you know, all the way to the ring.
They just want
if
you
nobody's
to
wanted you to do it, then you haven't talked to Scott Hensley, I don't think.
Yeah, they just want you to come in and beat people up. It's like people like seeing that shit, I guess.
Apparently so.
But Hardcore Hell sounds like an awesome show. The 19th, man, that's crazy to think about. Like that's a long fucking time. Next year will be the big one. Big 2-0. You got to start planning that shit.
Yeah, I really got to take some care in planning that, assuming I still have this job. But the boss is happy, and attendance keeps going up, and you know, he's gotten the promotion out of the massive debt that it was in. So you know, it's all good. So hopefully, as long as I'm enjoying it and they're happy, then I'll be doing this for a while.
I mean, the way I see it is, I had texted with Rick. You know, you guys drew over 100 on Saturday. They drew over 100 on Friday night for the NCW show. I mean, that's 200 people in one weekend for 2 separate shows. I mean, something, you know, y'all were doing something right. So I'd be proud of whatever y'all are doing. I would, you know, that's friggin' awesome.
Man, it's just what we talked about last show. The promotion's doing their end, the booking's doing their end, and it's hitting that sweet spot right now, which, is rare to see. I've only hit it a few times in the business, so I gotta say I'm really enjoying it. Where I was pretty sour on the business last year after all the shit I had to deal with in the booking spot. And now it's like a completely night and day scenario. Like I look forward to going to work. I'm excited about coming up with ideas. Like I want to do it. It's at that stage, which is always good because we know that don't last forever.
Well, I'm
No, it
excited
sure
to come
don't.
back. I mean, it sounds old pussy tank here. I'm excited to come back. That's my home away from home. If it wasn't for that building, I'd have never got to travel all over the place. I'd still be stuck in goddamn Rome, Georgia or some shit.
No, you wouldn't be. They shut down years ago.
Oh no, they're back.
Oh, no.
What?
They're running shows in Rome. They had like Scott Snyder there last week.
They got Booker T on May 7th.
And
Well, I
how
can
much
dig that.
else? Well, Bobby Hayes. They got Bobby Hayes.
Yeah, they got.
What's
Everybody uses
the
Bobby
date
Hayes
on Hardcore
for-
Hell again?
Shot who and a what now?
25th?
Yes,
What
that's
was the
it.
date on Hardcore Hell again?
March 25th.
Okay, March 25th. Mark it down, folks.
Yes, put it on your calendars. You
Who
definitely
does
want to be in
commentary
attendance.
for While We Wrestle / Anarchy.
So, come again?
Who does commentary for While We Wrestle / Anarchy?
Me.
Just you?
Yep.
I'm going to come to that shit and do commentary.
You should. We're having to do it in post right now, which is why it's just me. But we're working on getting that fixed. We just had to when Why We Wrestle started. He changed all of the filming shit to like the hard cam. I know fans at home are like, what the fuck are they talking about? So bear with me for a moment while I get inside the fuck of baseball. So they had the hard cam over by the concession stand instead of front facing the bleachers like it's been for fucking 20 years. And it just was terrible because you got, there's like 3 rows on that opposite side. It's the smallest side of the building. Each other side holds way more fans. So even when that other side is packed, it looks like there's 20 people in the building.
Yeah,
So
that's
by
an
moving
option.
that, it fucked up the commentary. But anyway.
Well, it's a work in progress, but you're doing a good job, like Tank said. So fans don't want to miss, especially a mega event, a big show like a Hardcore Hell. That's the one you want to come out and throw your money down for sure.
Oh, yeah. You just can't replicate the atmosphere of that building on a night like that, especially when the town is hot for it. So you have the drive-ins and you have the locals, and it just becomes this hooting and hollering good time, and they like to get rowdy in the Landmark Arena. So yeah, definitely make your plan. So, but moving along from talking about our own shit and putting ourselves over, gonna say we got to ring the bell again tonight for another lost legend. R.I.P. to Dennis Stamp. Brother, you're finally booked.
Dennis Stamp. Yeah, I vaguely remember him, doing shows. I mean, I guess he kind of came to notoriety, well, I'm trying to talk big fucking words here. But with the Beyond the Mat movie, he seemed like a little pitiful puppy on there, but, he had wrestled a long ass time. And, you always hate to see a legendary figure go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Dennis was a guy who he probably had a couple of good runs, in the Texas territories back in the day. I'm sure he probably had a good run in Amarillo probably in Southwest for the Blanchards. But on any sort of major scale, he was an enhancement guy. But well loved, obviously, by his peers, and of course, the moment with Terry Funk and Beyond the Mat is legendary. AIW up in Cleveland had brought him in to do a tag match a few months ago, just because they love to book just wacky names and things like that. And he got a great response. So glad to see that he got some love and appreciation towards the end of his career. I mean, he gave me forever a meme that allows me to respond to people who text me and ask me, am I booked or am I coming to the such and such show that I'm not booked on? And then I just respond to them with a picture of Dennis Stamp. Andrew knows this. He's gotten this text.
I've gotten it more than once, and I love it every time. I need you to get me send that. I need you to send me that because, man, I got asked. I must have got asked 10 times if I was coming to that Scenic City Rumble. And I was like, that's not bad for an unpopular dick like myself. People must miss me a little bit. And if I would have had that meme, I would have sent that to every motherfucker. Because that shit's classic. And, I don't know what you guys think, but not just because he passed away. Because, I saw after Beyond the Mat, I saw some clips of and some matches of him doing jobs. But in my opinion, he stole that movie. Like, he was the absolute best part of that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was quite entertaining. I'd already been sick for a while.
Yeah, but I mean that meme
jumping on the
you used and shit. That just sealed the deal for me personally. But he was the best part of that movie. Very entertaining. Very sad to hear him go. He had a cult following.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, for damn sure, man. So, Tank, what else has been going on with you? What's been going on in the world of wrestling? I've been moving, so I'm like totally out of the loop. We got any new like Hall of Fame announcements? Any new controversies or anything worth discussing?
I'd read earlier on Facebook that they are going to put Eric LeGrand in the Hall of Fame. He's the football player from Rutgers that got paralyzed from the neck down. I guess they had featured him on Raw or SmackDown or something, months ago. He's just the Tampa Bay Buccaneers actually gave him a job as kind of like a consultant, even though he can't, walk or whatever. So they're putting him in the celebrity or he's getting the Warrior Award or something. I don't know if he's going in the Hall of Fame. I think it's what it is. He's getting the Warrior Award.
Okay,
that's all
cool.
I've seen tonight on Facebook or whatever. And of course, we got WrestleMania coming up. Big weekend down there with all the different promotions running. Evolve, Ring of Honor. Joey Janela's got his own show, run by Game Changer Wrestling or something. He's got a pretty nice little card with a main evented by Matt Riddle and Dan Severn. I think that'll be a fun match.
I noticed they kind of went with the AIW formula there of just like booking as many wacky names and shit as they could. It looks like a lot of fun, I'm all for that, man. Make wrestling fun if you can, especially if you are going to go and spend all this money to bring these guys in. Like, at least do something that people are going to really appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, their bell time is at like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning on like a Thursday night. And they've already, what I've heard from Dylan Hales, is they've already outsold any of the Evolve or Ring of Honor shows. So it'll be fun. And Janela, he's a pretty good talent from the Northeast. He's going to wrestle Marty Jannetty. They're going to tell him how fucked up he'll be when he gets there. Like you said, it's just a little fun, little deal. And I'm really looking forward to the Riddle and Severn myself because they both got that amateur background, and then Severn will probably just throw him all over the fucking place.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
And I'm
I'm going to
actually
do till August 4th.
I'm actually looking forward to WrestleMania a little bit more because I officially pulled the trigger. I bought me a couple tickets to the big event. I'm going to go down to Orlando for the weekend.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
We'll have a live on-site correspondent.
Yeah, I'll call in to the Black Mass and talk about how people are freaking out because Roman Reigns beat the Undertaker. I saw a funny meme tonight that said it was like it had a picture of Harvey Dent, and it said it had a picture of Harvey Dent split screen with like Goldberg and Lesnar, and it said enough with the old guys, push young talent. And then it had a picture of Two-Face, and it said Roman Reigns better not beat the Undertaker. And man, I think you guys can understand, and this may sound silly to our listeners and everything, but it's very hard. It's been hard for me after getting into the wrestling business it's harder to have fun with it, like you guys were just talking about, and just be a fan and just enjoy it and get lost in it and get into it. And I'm making that a goal. I'm going down to WrestleMania, and I'm just going to try my best to mark out, like purposely. I'm chanting yes. I'm booing Roman Reigns. I'm going to pick a side. I don't know if I'm Let's Go Cena or Cena Sucks. I don't know which one I'm doing. But I just want to go down there and have a good time because I have not done that since 2001 when I got in the wrestling business. It's not been fun since then. So that's my goal.
I totally agree with you. Like I've gone to many of house shows and went to WrestleMania in Atlanta and just sat there. Everybody's going, raising hell when The Rock comes out, and I'm just sitting there like a fucking bump on a log. Because I guess just being in it so long, you just lose that fan factor of it. And maybe when I'm out and really not doing it anymore, I can kind of go back to that. Hopefully. They're going to be back in New Orleans next year, so I might make the trip next year and go check it out and just be a mark.
I mean, because there's nothing I'm really looking forward to specifically. I mean, other than I love the Hall of Fame, obviously, but as far as matches and things such as that, there's not something I'm just dying to see. It's just the event itself and just a chance to get away for a weekend and not worry about shit. I already got everything paid for, so I don't have to stress about the money and just go down there and have a good time. Buy me an overpriced T-shirt, which I probably won't pull the trigger on that because you guys know how fucking cheap I am. But just to go.
I'm shocked you bought tickets any fucking way, you cheap bastard.
I know, and I got the tickets in the mail, and it pissed me off because I paid about $100 more than they cost. Because the shit's basically sold out. I mean, Hall of Fame tickets I got cheap, and NXT tickets I got a deal on, if you will. But no, it didn't cost that. Man, the whole weekend I'm in about $300 for a room and everything. You can't. I mean, that ain't bad.
Nah.
Now Airbnb, man, I like that shit. I'm just staying in somebody's house. I mean, they ain't there. It's like an apartment that they rent out, but I'm all about Airbnb. They need to sponsor us. I'll do commercials for their ass.
You hear that, Airbnb? Get on board.
That's right. I'm looking forward to it. Hall of Fame will be cool. I'm really hoping. I think we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, and I really would. Just the Mark Indy would love for Christian to be added. I heard Regal might be the next one and maybe even the last one added, which I'm a big Regal fan too. But it would be very cool for me personally for Christian to get added. But if not, man, Rock and Roll Express, I want to get to see that shit. Kurt Angle, that's a pretty good class, so that'll be fun.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, that's awesome. We'll hope you have fun, and like I said, pull out your audio recorder or video recorder and capture some crazy moments, or at least get some good stories to tell here when you come back. We will be expecting a full report.
Yeah, because I being in the crowd and something like that, at Atlanta when we did the little
little spot with Triple H's entrance. I went out a couple times and just stood in the crowd on the floor, and that many people. That's just exciting, man. You get 70,000 plus people raising hell, and they're all having a good time and shit. It's awesome, man. That is a good feeling. It kind of reminds you makes you jealous that you're not in the ring at a big event like that. But we've gotten good reactions. Like I watched the video of the Rumble when Tank wins, and because I was told by a couple people that it's a pretty special thing, and I can't imagine because that was a big pop. It's good when you get that reaction. So getting it out at that stage, it's cool to experience, even if you're just in the crowd buying a ticket. So it'll be fun to see, if a Roman Reigns beats Undertaker, how people flip the fuck out.
I'm sure it'll happen.
I knew this chick years ago that was like, me and my friends are taking a trip to New Orleans, and they want to go to this thing called WrestleMania. She had no fucking clue. No clue what it was, and she went. And I said, so how was it? She's like, it was fun, man. I loved it. I mean, she absolutely loved it. I said, so what was the atmosphere like when Brock Lesnar won that match? And she got this look on her face, and she's like, man, I've never seen people so mad in my life. I've never heard such curse words. And I was like, that's awesome. I would have loved to have just seen that or seen the look on her face, because she was probably terrified at shit she heard when Brock Lesnar ended the streak. But I don't know. It's cool. WrestleMania, that's something, if you're a wrestling fan listening to this, you've never been. You should definitely go, because this will be my 3rd/4th one. And they're a good time. So if you ever get the chance to go.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, it is the biggest celebration of wrestling. I love WrestleMania for a lot of reasons, not just, it's their biggest show, and they always go all out, and you get the chance to see, really the best of the best on display, even if not in the ring, which they usually are because they work there, but even if not, you've got just the best presentation, the best production, the best. It's such an event, but it's become this celebration of wrestling. So it's almost like it's a holiday weekend if you love wrestling, just to indulge in it and watch as much of it as you can. And whatever you're a fan of, new, old, it's out there. You can use WrestleMania weekend to celebrate it.
Yeah, and there's just so much different stuff going on. You got like, Pritchard and Conrad doing their deal. You got, I believe, Cornette and Jim Ross are doing something. You got the WrestleCon. There's just so much going on the whole weekend. And those smaller companies are pretty smart to want to run close by Orlando, just because people are going to go. I mean, Andy, during WrestleMania in Chicago, I did a show for Ian Rotten in the middle of nowhere. And what was there, about 400 or 500 people there? And it was
pretty much packed out.
It was a 2:00 show. It was a 2:00 show, and then all of them went to Ring of Honor that night, and then they all went to WrestleMania the next night. So,
and that was 11 years ago, and so it's gotten much bigger even since then, with the independent shows and the con. And now the podcast and live perform, all of that stuff, man. There's just so much shit, and that's just good. I'm not taking part in any of that stuff, but I just love that it's happening, and it's awesome. It's just great for wrestling fans, and that's just not people from the South. That shit's getting people from fucking worldwide, and they're going to check out shows they've never seen, or Ring of Honor and Evolve and these conventions, and these, the legends, guys that are retired, are probably going to make some good money. So that's
oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, I believe it's Progress and Revolution Pro out of the UK are both running shows in Orlando. I mean, they're bringing their talent from Europe to wrestle in Orlando that weekend. They ain't gonna tell them how much that's going to cost them. I'm sure it has something to do with was it WWN, the Wrestling Network or whatever? have
Yeah,
something to do with
probably.
that. But I mean, but that's still a pretty big deal. I mean, people who follow the indies and they follow European wrestling, you know, they'll get to see those Zack Sabre and Ospreay and Skrull, even though they're doing stuff in Ring of Honor, but they're going to be wrestling each other instead of, you know, throwing Skrull in there with the Ring of Honor guy. And you know, and those shows are selling out. It's just sometimes you wish they would have run WrestleMania close to Chattanooga. We could have had the big goddamn Empire show at the Chattanooga Trade Center with Tank and Bobby Hayes headlining.
We could have, but alas. Our producer, Fast City Lane, who we always appreciate dearly, has popped in with a comment that's interesting to note, and I almost forgot about this myself. But do you remember when Vince tried to stop the other local promotions from or not even just local, but, you know, any promotions from doing things in the city at WrestleMania weekend? I guess clearly that was not a success.
Oh no, I'd heard about that. I'm just thinking, you know, why even do that? You know, I mean, these people, they've already paid their money to see your show. Because I mean, I would say 90% of the people going to these indie shows are going to WrestleMania. They're not just going to Orlando to see, you know, Ring of Honor or Evolve or CZW or whatever the hell is running. There might be a few just going for the indies because they don't give a shit about the Fed, but yeah, I'd say 95% of everybody going to those shows are going to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And it's just more money, you know, and that's more money going into the city of Orlando. And yeah, I mean, to me, that's kind of a prick, selfish move if he really, you know, was trying to do that.
Yeah, because, I mean, you got to think. NXT, sold out. Hall of Fame, sold out. WrestleMania, it'll be sold out. I mean, you can't fit any more bodies into these venues. And your access is probably, you know, on the verge. Anybody that wants to attend the WWE event, you know, they're pretty much going to. So I don't think canceling, you know, getting rid of these other events is really going to help you any. People, you know, some people are big Ring of Honor fans. Some people are big Evolve fans. Some people like to go to conventions and get a picture, get an autograph, shake hands. You know, and that's what they want to do. So I just don't see it very beneficial for them to try to do that. And that was kind of a short-lived rumor, and he may have actually done something. He may have thought, you know, the gain isn't worth the effort of trying to do that, and I haven't really heard of that in a couple of years. So, you know, maybe that's not really a key factor anymore, hopefully, but, you know.
I mean, the only time I thought something was stupid is when we were in Chicago and the night of the Hall of Fame, Ring of Honor ran. You know, now they're going to now everybody's running, you know, I think one show starts at like 11 o'clock on Friday because the Hall of Fame's on Friday this year, right?
Yeah.
I think like most of the shows start Friday at like 11 or noon, and they're just kind of, you know, you got one at noon, one at 3, one at 5. Take a break for the Hall of Fame. Then they got shows starting at like midnight. I mean, it's like fucking nonstop wrestling for 3 days. NXT, they're running shows Saturday morning up until NXT, and then you got the podcast stuff after NXT. I mean, there's a lot of money to be made down there.
Oh yeah, they've really turned it into like a con type atmosphere in many ways. It reminds me of, you know, Dragon Con, Comic Con. Like when these huge events take over a city, it's like all of this, it's stuff that's fringe of that's not actually part of that, gets to flourish. You know, there's all kinds of like stand-up shows and, you know, outside gatherings and, you know, just different presentations and things when around Comic-Con when it's there in San Diego, or even Dragon Con was in Atlanta. And now WrestleMania has kind of become that, and that's very cool to see.
You know, you think Vince would want these guys down there. He can just pick from who the hell he wants. Because, you know, Regal, I mean, they kind of work with Evolve anyway. But, you know, Regal's, I guarantee he'll be out going to all these fucking shows.
Oh yeah, they'll have people out there looking at talent left and right.
Exactly. I mean, Triple H will show up. All these agents, they're going to have their eyes open on some of these guys.
Yeah, for damn sure.
Hey, speaking of big money, what's a good Twitter follower cost now?
Do what?
What's a good Twitter follower cost now?
I have no idea. Somebody posted on my comments that you could get like 5,000 followers for like $99. But the way I see it, how the hell can you go from 400 followers on a Monday to 37,000 by the end of the week? Come on now, give me a break with that shit. Fucking Mark.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it because it's like everything else in your life? It's just like an exterior shell to hide the nothing on the inside, like everything else is like a fucking costume for you, is for show. Like the same thing. I don't really have, like 50,000 people really don't give a fuck about me, but it looks like they do. I'm not really a professional wrestler. It just looks like I am.
I'm content with my like 300 followers or whatever. I just go on there and read people's shit. I don't expect thousands of people to follow me. I don't know who the hell I am. But just to do that, to get a pro wrestling tees store, you're just a fucking mark. That's all I'm going to say about that.
On that note, I think it's a good way to wrap it up. What are you going to say, Andrew?
On that note, RASSLIN, that's wrestling.
Goddamn right.
That it is. Well, you can follow Tank on Twitter again and up his followers legitimately at Tank_EST1996. I'm on Twitter at Dragons Rejects. Andrew Alexander does not want to be found, but he will be back with a WrestleMania recap coming up soon. Fast Eddie Lane, you want to throw some plugs out there before we hit the road?
Sure, I'll do it real quick. At Beyond Ringside on Twitter, at Fast Eddie Lane, Layne on Twitter, Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live. Be sure to catch the Beyond Ringside YouTube channel as well as the Potty Humor YouTube channel for current versions and previous versions of the Midnight Black Mass. Back your way.
Awesome. Awesome. Well.
And I just want everybody to know that if you can't make it to Hardcore Hell March 25th, I'm actually booked in a Four Corners of Pain match. It's where there's a secret box on each of the bedposts. What's in them? Who knows? But if you aren't in on this action, just let me know. We'll have a good time.
No, you confused it with the Four Corners of Shame. And we're out of time. Keep 1 foot. What?
If that's what you're into.
Keep 1 foot in the gutter, 1 fist in the gold. For Andrew Alexander and the Strong Style Psycho Tank, and our producer Fast Eddie Lane, I am the Ram, Dad the Dragon Wilson. Good night.